You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Project Runway After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Project Runway After Show.
Hey guys, how's it going? We are here at AFTERBUZZ doing another after show for Project Runway. We've got season 13, episode 4, Remixing American Classic, or the American Classic, whatever. I'm Stef Z. Virginia is not with us tonight, but she is celebrating, so we're gonna let her have this one. But tonight I am joined by the lovely
Amanda Bennett
and Michelle Uberreste.
Sweet. Well, let's get right to it. Well, we know one thing, that Project Runway is not scared to product place and show their sponsors off very much.
Exactly, because as they leave the studio, they don't know where they're going for their challenge. And they are like, are we really going here?
Yeah.
And what do they find, Michelle?
They end up at Red Robin.
You know, not for nothing, I kind of like Red Robin. I thought it was kind of an East Coast thing. Like, do they have it out? I mean, I know they're on the East Coast, but is it a nationwide establishment? Maybe it is. Maybe we should know about it. Maybe we should take a trip.
I've never been to Red Robin.
I haven't seen one in LA.
I think there's one near Disney. But anyway, so yeah, so they get to Red Robin, and they're joined by Tim Gunn and Jason Rusk, who is the VP of Brand Transformation. And he kind of gives us a little weird rundown about burgers, and they have all kind of burgers, and they have some pretty weird type of hamburgers. And, you know, you're kind of like going with that.
Talking about pineapple on the burger.
Yeah, like who does it?
A burger for somebody that doesn't want meat. You're like,
fried egg.
All right,
fried egg on top of a hamburger.
I mean, maybe there are people, but again, I'm kind of a simple eater. I like to say I'm a clean eater. So like a fried egg on a hamburger to me just sounds like a terrible idea.
I mean, hamburgers are like the American classic.
Right.
Why ruin it? It's perfect.
It's kind of like the same way I feel about pizza. Like, who puts pineapple on pizza?
I like pineapple on pizza.
So
Guys.
weird.
But not a hamburger.
I know. Tangent. So then, so we get there and we have a bunch of men dressed in fine looking suits come out holding hamburgers.
Some suits are fine looking, some not so much.
All the suits were good to a certain era. Like at one point in time, every single one of those suits was cool.
Don Cornelius wore a couple of those suits on Soul Train.
Right. But and when you go through them, you have all the different looks. You got the 70s looking suit, you got the corduroy looking suit, you got the plaid looking suit, you got kind of everything. So what the challenge is this week is they're going to have to take the suit. Each designer is going to get a suit, be paired up with one man's suit, and they'd have to make a high fashion piece from the suit. It's kind of interesting because right away, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but right away I was kind of like, how are they going to do like the picking of the suits? Because like in previous years and seasons, it's been like the worst, the second to the worst, or they had a bag or whatever. And we see that Zendaya gets, because she won last week, that she gets to pick her suit first, which I think she picked it wasn't maybe the one that I would have picked.
She picked the brightest mix of colors.
I think that was strategic, though. Like, I think she already knew, like...
See, I don't know. I wonder if she knew. I didn't think she knew. Like, because if she knew... Well, so what we're getting to is that after she picks her suit, she actually picks the suit for each designer.
I thought that Tim Gunn definitely laid out the challenge before she picked. Because I think he explained that you're going to have to transform
He explained that, but but I think what we're saying is that she didn't know that she was going to be able to pick everybody else's.
Oh, okay. So she just picked hers.
She picked hers being like this, and then because you never know what you might do if you wanted to give everybody, or someone that struggles with something, give it to that or play that kind of.
Okay, so she was just going straight to that suit for herself.
I think so. What do you think? Is that what you felt too?
I agree.
Okay.
And I think it was kind of interesting because I feel like she was pretty honest about it. Like, she actually was trying to pair up suits that she thought people might pick instead of be super vindictive and, like, throw some people under the bus by giving them totally suits they would not be able to work with.
But there are some suits that, who do you give them to, you
Right.
know?
Right, but in that exactly, like, I don't know, man, she's one of my favorites, and I totally agree that I don't think, because if it was me and I was in there, I think I might have given, you know, the worst ones to, like, Amanda or Karina. But I think she tried to see the character of each suit and what she knows of each designer. She tried to give, like, pair those up so that, I feel like she was trying to give everybody a
But
fair
Amanda
chance.
didn't see it that way.
Of course she didn't, because she's Amanda.
And I'm not speaking in third person.
Okay,
We're
but to be
talking about
honest-
Amanda the designer.
Yeah.
If
Sorry.
we're talking about how awesome of a suit you get, I mean, none of them are really awesome.
No.
No, none of them were awesome, but there was definitely ones that, I mean, I would find more challenging if I got that fabric
Right.
thrown
Well,
towards
and
me.
I thought Zendaya did so well last week with her pink and gold dress that I think she wanted to stay with that bright color palette. And she seems to do really well with it. So she was smart to pick that.
And she probably just wanted to have fun, because she's safe this week, so she can make anything she
That's
wanted. So she was
right.
probably like, oh, I like this one. It
Ooh,
wasn't in her
immunity,
mind. Well,
mustaches.
well, it wasn't in her mind. It wasn't in her mind, like, it was, oh, this is fun for me. I think is more where she was going rather than threatened by the, what fabric can I make the best thing from in order
Yeah.
to succeed in the challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's also her personality. I don't think she's a vindictive character.
No.
And I think when you're safe, it helps out a lot, especially when you're not in a team, that you can kind of explore your options a little more.
And didn't Hernan say that Zendaya was a completely different person off camera than on camera?
Yeah,
Or do you
well-
think he was just being a hater?
No, I mean, we'll get to the workroom, and I think that's
All right.
kind of well, it all does start with the fabrics, and yes, he does say that but I don't see that. Like, I don't see that. I mean, I feel like she's just very honest. Like, she says something, and I don't know if this is word for word, but pretty much like, don't be complaining about your, like, embrace it and do your best, or complain about it. Like, you have a choice. You know what I mean? It's like every designer probably wasn't given the fabric or suit that they in their mind were like, okay, if I get to pick, this is what I'm gonna pick. And you see, like, the few that just like to complain and make excuses, and, you know, we see what happens.
I think in that
About that.
situation, of course, there's editing. We don't always see.
Right.
So I think you have to take that with a grain of salt. But I kind of agree. Like, you kind of vibe on people. And I think that Hernan and Zendaya just, they don't see eye to eye. Maybe he feels like it's vindictive. Maybe. I mean, certain people just don't get along. Like, they don't
Yeah.
match.
Okay, so to finish the challenge, so we get they have to pick their suit, they have to use the suit fabric, but they also do get $100 to spend at Mood, and they get 30 minutes in Mood, but it's supposed to be fabric that just adds to the suit. And we do see a lot when we have challenges like this where we're given a fabric, or they're given a fabric, and they can use supplement fabrics, that sometimes people use too much supplement fabrics, and
And it's all the supplemental fabric and none of the original fabric.
yeah, that happens sometimes. So so we go to Mood, and again, I feel like we all kind of have the same feeling on Mood. It's cool to show sometimes the fabric, but it's not. I mean, last season there was when people were kind of fighting over the fabrics, and that was more interesting. But I feel like it's, you know, they pick the fabric and they leave.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean,
really.
if there isn't anything that happens in Mood that's interesting, I don't really need to see the trip to Mood. You know,
Yeah.
show me more of the construction of the garment. Show me more of the runway. You know,
Yeah.
Right, but it's a part of the process.
it is. It's
And
important.
for the designers, it's important. Like, that's, you do get the suit fabric, but if you screw up at Mood, that could be the end. You
Right,
know?
but it might be cool for them to show us what the designers are thinking at Mood, or each week
Oh,
follow a designer and hear what they're saying, or do a backstory. When I was at Mood, I was thinking vinyl, but then I decided to go with jersey, or
Well, I think just more
whatever.
the action. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to see you paying for your fabric and standing in line, but,
Boring.
you know, if I would see what you're actually picking out.
Or just designers running around the store like, all right, already. We know they're in a rush. It's 30 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
30 minutes. allegedly.
Yeah, how true is that?
It's totally true.
Is it?
Okay.
Exactly.
Do they like set a stopwatch, or
Oh,
what
yeah.
do they do?
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
because I never got to go to that trip to Mood, so it's good that you're telling us.
Yeah, like literally, and then so like when you get to the end, Tim will be like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, and you're like freaking out and running around trying to get stuff cut. Like it's super stressful. That's why I think they show it, but maybe they don't show it like conveying that.
Right.
Quality, not quantity.
Well, because they always do convey, they tend to show us a lot of totals to make sure that they stay in budget. But they
Right.
don't ever really, I mean, they show the clock, but there's no stopwatch type clock situation happening. So I
Yeah.
was just curious if it's like, come on.
Oh, completely.
Oh, okay.
Completely.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then we move to the workroom. We get back. And I mean, I feel like we get a couple people feeling happy about their fabrics, a couple people being pissed about their fabrics. You
Oh,
know?
and we should add that they did do their sketches in the Red Robin while they enjoyed
Some
bottomless French fries.
Red Robin, I remember them being good and having good French fries.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't be like, I mean, it's,
Red Robin, hook us up with some French fries.
Yeah, it's a little bit much the way that they throw this. Like, I feel like this show more than a lot does utilize their sponsors a lot during the show. A
In
lot.
strange ways. Like
Yes.
the yogurt at the pier.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like 8 in the morning when they're at Red Robin, like filming, making their
Right, eating fries, probably.
This is
That's
my
really funny.
breakfast. Yes.
So we move to the workroom. We see people starting working, and one of the first things that we see is Karina and Christine. What do you think about what's happening there?
You're making a jacket like I'm making a jacket. It's the same jacket. Oh no.
It's just drama. Like, get over it.
So
Like,
much drama.
A motorcycle jacket. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it was similar, but they have complete. You have to go with what you want to do and
Right.
not be concerned with what anyone does. Oh,
And it-
someone's doing a dress. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Like,
And one of the girls made pants and one of the girls made a skirt. They weren't the same design.
Right.
It was
and-
kind of a non-issue.
it's usually a non-issue.
It's usually a non-issue. It was interesting the way that Karina approached Christine, because there was Christine and she had pretty much not all of it done, but she had a good portion on her mannequin done. And Karina was just sitting there like, oh, what are you going to do there? Because that's what I was going to do. And she didn't have anything done. So it was just like, okay.
I think she was a little bit exasperated about it.
Corinna,
Yeah.
really?
I think she was intimidated.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to focus. I mean, look, how many designers are there in the world that are going to do similar stuff to you? There's only so many sleeves and so many princess seams that you can.
so many lapels.
And so many colors you can work with. Like, it's going to come out of
Yeah.
someone else eventually. Don't, like, just do your thing.
Just
and
be inspired from where you come from, and it'll look good.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
like,
what
if
would
you're
be
true to
really
it.
funny? Really, really funny? If one
What?
challenge, listen, have patience. If one challenge, all the designers would just decide to make the same exact thing.
And then who does it best?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty rad.
Yes.
Or if they had to make the same exact thing.
Besides a dress.
I think that would actually be pretty interesting because then
Yeah.
you're looking at not just tailoring, but you're looking at proportions, finishing.
Tailoring, who finishes first. Like, there's a
Yeah.
whole challenge that can be made out of that. That would
they
be
could all
show a
have to-
lot of skill. Because
Yeah.
sometimes with these fabrics, like, I mean, even in this show, I don't want to jump to it, but like when you make an all black dress, like, we definitely can't see up close what's wrong. Like, it masks a lot of the tailoring. So
Or if it's really good, you can't see the detailing.
right. So I think it would be very interesting. I think that'd be a good challenge. Project Runway, do it.
Yeah, like all red fabric. And it's the same fabric for everyone, and they have to make a jacket and a pair of pants.
Something like
Suit
that.
something.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a cool challenge.
Woo!
And it is also, we see when we get right into the workroom, and as much as she's not my favorite, Amanda does get kind of a difficult fabric to work with. And it's unfortunate that it seems like she's almost allergic to the fabric. in the
Yeah,
beginning.
she starts sneezing on it.
Like, you can't fake sneezes.
No, but I mean,
It was definitely edited.
Yeah.
I don't know when the sneezes were happening.
Right.
She's like, I'm allergic. I'm like, really? I think she was joking. Like, it's so ugly, she's allergic to it.
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I just thought when she first started cutting it apart and pitting the fabric on the mannequin, I was like, oh dear God, it looks like a apron, like a bad apron. That's what I thought in the workroom.
I get that it's bad fabric, but I felt like she made it even worse by pairing it with bad other fabric.
It's so funny because
And then-
my notes for the workroom for Amanda, and again, as much as it hurts me a little bit, it says, I think it's going to work out.
Wow.
And you can just, her sketch, you could tell, and again, whatever, but you can tell that she's figuring it out. She's mind over mattering. She gets that she was dealt this hand of fabric, and she's just going with it. She's using the skills to, but she's not being distracted by any of that. She's like, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna do something that I know how to do. I'm gonna create this fringe. I'm gonna put this together, and this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna go for it. It does pain me a little bit to say that, but I think she did a very good job. It does.
Well, yeah, she did stick to her guns.
Yeah.
She I like her confidence is what I want to say.
Yeah, and then we see Keeney. And from the beginning, his sketch looks awesome, man.
Oh, we all were like, whoa, I can't wait to see it.
And it was like, again, he was so dialed. He was just like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it.
He knew, like, he knew from the beginning, he's like, I might win this. I got a handle on it.
You know, at first when I was just looking at the sketch, I was like, we've seen that kind of thing before. But he managed to tailor it so well. And it was really impressive, especially on the runway.
Yeah, I really liked it as well. And that was one of the things in the workroom that Tim was saying. He was like, I like your concept. I like the way this looks. But when he had first done it, it wasn't matching up. And the tailoring was not, as expected on a show of this caliber. So it was, fun to see that he was confident and he could fix that up. Then we have Karina, and again, man, I hate to say this, and I hate it. I hate to like it, but like, I liked her jacket from the beginning better than Christine's. Her whole concept.
I think the color helped it a lot, and then adding that to the cut was
The
really
red,
good.
yeah.
Motorcycle jackets do work better in black and red versus
Purple.
what?
It was
Bordeaux.
It was kind of
like
a weird
eggplant-y, yeah.
yeah.
But also, I was excited. I thought it would have been awesome to see a motorcycle like that jacket just straight down into the dress.
Yeah.
Yes, making it a one-piece
Like
jacket
a motorcycle
dress.
jacket. Yeah.
A jacket dress.
Yeah.
I'm just
I would
saying.
love it.
Maybe that will be the challenge everyone has to do. And then we go over to Alexander, and he, again, that top, that asymmetrical thing, top he was working on, ooh, I liked it. I liked that guy,
looked
too.
good.
The sketch looked really good. And it kind of goes through. Then we have Sean, and it was just looking a little bit tough for that guy, Sean.
It kind of looked like a dead caterpillar to me. It was just like all these layers upon layers of just unfortunate corduroy.
I feel like he was going in the right direction, though. I feel like
I
he
did,
made
I
the
like-
right
yeah.
decision. Like, that color was so bad. And then he
Mustard.
I think he had it the worst.
It was kind of like a caramely mustard, though. It was like the worst thing you could have, and somehow he found these other fabrics that he could kind of...
I thought the other fabrics made it worse.
No, I think it was better. Like, that color was so bad. When you start doing that tonal stuff, that is where high fashion
Yeah.
focuses.
And I
when they
liked
do
the rough
color.
work.
Okay, all right.
You know?
I don't know.
And I liked the rough edges.
Yeah.
It wasn't finished, but I liked where it was going.
I was kind of disagreeing with Tim at first, and maybe that's because I don't have the foresight to see what it can look like later. Because I get very stuck in the workroom of like, oh no, oh, that's awful. And then it comes out a lot better on the runway. But I thought the clean side was what Tim was going to like. I'm surprised that he picked the messy side.
I think
But I
would've
agree it
been
was
good,
boring.
But I don't think he could have pulled off the tailoring, the pressing to make the clean side look clean. It would have been a mess.
So he's not as good of a tailor
Well,
in
it's
general.
not that. It's just there's so many different fabrics that he had going on. If you don't, I mean, he had like, what, 20 stripes on just the skirt part?
Yes.
You'd have to just spend hours just fixing that to get it to where it needs to be because of all the consistencies.
to
of the
smooth it
different-
out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like the raw, and I feel like the raw can go very high fashion. If
It can.
I feel like it can too. I'm not sure that his did, but I feel like it can.
It had the potential.
Totally had the
Yeah.
potential. And then we go over to Mitchell.
Oh my God. Can I say dominatrix?
It was so S&M. It was
was
like
just-
Superman X&M. Like blue Straps.
Again, I liked
Weird.
the concept of it, but I think the crisscross straps killed it. It could have been cute as like a strapless with the plastic, and
Yeah,
I liked that.
he did. The straps were very thick in the workroom too, and we see that changes. And I think
He
that was
pared
a
it
little
down
bit.
a little.
Yeah, Tim kind of made a comment about that, so he listened. So that's good that he's listening, though. That shows that he's there. He wants to learn. He's coachable.
Tim
So I
was
think
like,
that'll
well,
take him far.
it's your design, so I can't tell you what to do, but those straps are
But
a little
it does
much.
look Mitchell-y. Like, he kind of has that, like, trashy edge to his designs, which I think...
like the
Are you
blondes.
calling him a trash?
No, it's in a good way. It's
No, I
kind of
get
like
it.
his signature.
Do you know that those designers, the blondes? That's what it reminds me of.
No.
No? Okay. I will
and-
tweet about it later.
And then we've got Hernan, who, yeah, it wasn't the fabric of the suit. It was vinyl. It was terrible. I thought it sucked.
Hernan, I just wrote, oh, no. Tim even came up and was like, what is this? I mean, you know it's bad when Tim's like, what is this? He doesn't even
It
know
was
what
bad.
he's looking at.
And it was bad in the sense where we've seen bad in the past, but we've seen bad where we're like, no, that's going to be fine. Like, I feel like sometimes they try and push, like, show us something where in a bad stage, but, like, it's going to get better. This
Right.
was like, oh, he's screwed.
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have
That's
had
what
to,
you
like,
get for being Mantis.
he would have had to, like, start all over again to make it better.
Yeah, I think
Which
so.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you're that far, I mean, like, it might be better just to do something simple and clean.
And
Yeah.
actually you're able to finish it out.
Right.
And what did he do? Was that a supplemental fabric that he added underneath the silver? Or was that part of the suit? Because that was interesting when she turned during the judging. And
I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, it wasn't.
know,
I
but-
don't think they said exactly what it was. I don't know
But I
what
think
it
it
was.
comes
It
down
was
to
weird.
choices. Like, you're stuck with the polyester, okay. But then you pick shiny vinyl, which you're not used to working with. Don't ever pick fabrics that you're not used to working with. And then on top of that, like, once you start working with it and you realize it's not working, just let go. Like, it's choices. You gotta pick a good
Right.
supplemental fabric, and then you realize it's not working. There's a way to make it work.
It's
You can't
choices and taste level. And just, if you don't like the brown, why go and buy more brown?
Right.
Well, but it's also attitude. From the beginning, he had a terrible attitude about the
agree.
suit that he had, which then made it. It's like if you get something terrible, like everyone had an opportunity to up their fabric with mood, with buying something
Yes.
to make it better.
Yes.
And we see it in the runway, and I don't want to jump to the runway again, but it's like when Heidi said, it's like you're complaining about fabric, and then you went and picked vinyl. Like, who does that?
Right.
Like, that was not a good decision.
I don't know who sees a suit and thinks to themselves, oh, that fabric, vinyl's going to help it out. No.
Especially that suit. Especially if you don't love a suit.
Well, I think if you start out with your defeatist attitude, you're never gonna pull yourself out of that.
Go,
Yeah.
And
go
you
to
have to
cotton
let-
instead or something like that.
You have to let the fabric speak to you too.
Yeah.
If this is not good for a drapey skirt, don't make a drapey skirt and try to force it into one. Just let it do what it wants to do.
He could have even taken that brown piping apart from the white fabric and added it somewhere else more interesting. You know,
He
instead
could
of...
have done a lot of different.
Oh, Hernan.
Yeah, poor Hanan.
Oh.
And then we go over to Emily, and Tim says, "I feel like you worked magic."
She had the suit with the red plaid jacket and the black pants. Mm-hmm. Yes. That actually was a big transformation for me. I liked it a lot. Wait a second. Do you think that the pants came from the sleeves of the jacket? And the skirt
No, they're not long
came
enough.
from... Okay.
No, I don't think they're long enough, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, right. They would have been
It
more
wasn't
like...
my favorite, but I thought it was. I thought it was well put together, and I thought it was Emily. Like, I could see her in that.
Yeah,
You know, it was her style.
it was the beginning of her style. Yeah, and then Samantha, like a lot of other stuff happened in the workroom. Zendaya was talking about putting mustaches on her thing, and like it's funny too because the way that they approach it makes that seem like it was going to be a huge thing, and it wasn't really that noticeable.
It was just kind of an afterthought. Like, let's add this as a little bit of whimsy.
Yeah.
But Samantha, I thought they kind of skipped over her in the workroom a little bit. She was just kind of there and gone.
Well, I feel like they've skipped over her for a few seasons. A few episodes, because I feel like when they were talking to her tonight in the workroom, it was like, wait, who's that girl again?
Yeah,
like a lot
where
of them,
did
you
she
get
come
familiar with the names and stuff. And for her, I was kind of like, wait, I know the face, but which?
Because if you're safe,
yeah, she's just been safe.
they don't want to focus on you.
Maybe
That's true.
they're saving her for later episodes. Maybe she gets better as she goes.
I don't know. Maybe she wins the whole freaking thing.
Yeah, that's what they do. They hide the people in the early episodes.
I think she's good though. Like I think she could be middle top.
Middle top.
I mean, it just depends. Sometimes anybody can make
She
a
could
mistake.
be 5th place.
She's not like super standing out, but I feel like she could be in the top.
Yeah.
And then we go to Keeney, and Shar. We see Shar, and I kind of liked what she had going on with the top. Your face, you didn't like it, did you?
No, I just can't remember what Char. Oh,
No, her
The top
face.
was tortured.
oh, the
It was
baby blue. The
tortured.
baby blue.
I mean, I appreciate the idea, but again, you have to execute. She loved it. She loved it.
Right. I'm not talking the finished product yet, though. I'm still talking in the workroom.
I still didn't like it in the workroom.
Oh, in the workroom, I liked the concept. I really did. I thought it was kind of cool what she was. I saw where she wanted to go.
Again, yeah, I mean, the concept, but you can't just go on concept alone.
But hey, in the workroom, that's where it gets all started.
I like her response to Tim Gunn though. She's like, "Oh yeah, no, tell me what you need me to do, Tim.
Yeah,
it's okay. Speak to me."
Yeah.
She's like, "I need help."
That's fine.
Yeah.
We see Keeney in the workroom. He is just confident as all. He is finished early. He's hanging out. He doesn't even need to. He's like, I'm
like
gonna
an
take a
extra
nap.
hour
Or two.
Yeah, he had a few extra hours.
Yeah, Keeney.
I kind of like him.
Good tailor.
I like
Good
him.
craftsman.
Yeah.
I think his dress was pretty stunning. And if, as one of the models, I would have been like, yes, I get to wear that. Like, when you show up, you want to wear something good and you want to look good on the show.
Well, then you feel good on the runway. It looks
Yes.
even better.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, this is a great day.
And then, one of the other things, again, where I feel like maybe because Zendaya's won a few, she's won 2 challenges and she's been safe, that they're trying to stir up a little drama, because you see Hernan complaining again, and she's like, if you cannot make something good from what you've got, then you're not a good designer, which I really, really agree with that comment. Like, if you're a good designer, you will be able to make anything look good, even, you know what I mean, because then it will look good and people will be like, well, but that's what they were working with, but with that it looks good. There's a way to make everything kind of work, I feel like.
I 99% agree with that.
Really? Not 100?
Some things, I don't know.
But if you know how to make a good pattern and you know how to sew and you have good tailoring skills, you can really take a potato sack and turn it into something good.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, you just have to use your brain. It's like I said, let the fabric speak to you, let the pattern, the color. There's smart ways to design, even if it's something simple and it's not your cup of tea. You can usually find a way to, incorporate it.
To at least make it safe to go on to the next week.
Right. Okay. So, anything else about the workroom that stood out to you guys before we move on to the runway?
When the models were getting ready, Mitchell was getting his model ready, and he was like, not so sure about the fit of the top, and he kept touching her boobs again. These designers with the boobs. It's just that they don't know about the fit.
Right, but yeah.
They're not trying to touch the boobs.
No,
I'm being a little silly. It's like really around this upper part, so it wasn't really. He wasn't trying to grab her or anything.
But it was kind of funny because you saw him be like, oh, wow, that's not looking the way I intended it to look. And he was like, uh-oh, what's happening?
Yeah, he was like panicking, like, oh! Yeah. I screamed again. I'm sorry. I get very passionate about this show. All right.
She's always got to look out for the models.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because I'm like sitting there like, oh, God, that girl has to stand there and he's touching her like that.
I feel bad. Sometimes, I mean, if you have to wear a horribly ugly dress and you got to try and like sell it.
I had to do it.
Yeah, but that's
I had to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure, Amanda, you can bring more to this conversation than I can, but that's kind of what they're getting paid for.
I get it, but like clothing makes you feel a certain way. That's why you can sell clothing.
You either have an easy day at the show or you have a challenging day.
Right.
But
it's
either
fine,
way,
you
you
should
be able to bring it.
Yes, and you're
You
fine.
should, but
then you're like, man, you look around the room and you're like, oh, I wish I had that little black dress over there,
Well, okay,
Right.
and you have a day, like we put our models through hell. We were like stitching them into things. You can't go to the bathroom for 6 hours. We put like with unconventional challenges, we were putting them in like wire thing. It was like, so brutal.
Oh, but it's fine. You know with that going into it that it's going to be a little challenging, but you just have to sell it. And a lot of the girls do a great job.
I think so.
And I will skip ahead and I'll talk about Sean's model because I loved her on the runway. She had the flowy brown hair.
Right.
And she really sold that outfit.
Yeah, well, we're going to get there right now. So let's keep on track.
Good.
So we go out. We get Heidi. Heidi comes out. Heidi's looking good this season.
Heidi.
Yeah, she's looking good. She's confident. She's sassy. She comes out in a little snakeskin number.
Beautiful.
Did you guys like it? You liked it? What about you, Michelle? You're not.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of for me.
I do like the sass.
I do like the sass, and I like her. This outfit wasn't my favorite of the season so far. It kind of bugged me. To me, it looked like the top and the bottom weren't the same color. They were slightly off, so it kind of bugged me. Yeah, the bottom looked a little bit more purpley.
But maybe it was just a different type of fabric.
Or maybe it was meant to be that way. But for me, if it would have just been all the blue snakeskin.
I thought it was all blue.
It looked a little purple at the bottom.
I think it's your eyes.
No, come on.
Maybe it was the screen. Maybe it's the
the screen.
We didn't see anything.
No, I thought it was all the same.
I'm gonna go send you guys all a picture later.
All right.
So then tonight, we've got, our guest judge for this evening is Bethany Mota, who is a YouTube sensation, a fashion vlogger, which I guess that YouTube and the internet and all these, I'm a little bit old-fashioned. So for me, it's a little bit weird to hear, like, there's YouTube people when there's a bazillion people in the fashion industry that they could get as a guest judge. I don't know why, if they have something with YouTube and they're trying to promote these people. And no disrespect, I really like this judge. I think she was knowledgeable. I think she was super cool. But for me, it's still a little bit weird when you have all the fashion magazines, you have all the designers, you have all these things, to not get someone who doesn't just, like a fashion vlogger, clearly it's like a video blog, so they just talk about it rather than having, and I get some celebrities and stuff, but even celebrities, they're put in these clothes, they're almost like models for a day when they wear these big designers' clothes on the carpets and stuff like this, so I understand that connection.
But they're being styled. They can't even dress themselves.
Right, but
they
still,
understand the fit and
they understand the game of it.
Why can't they dress themselves?
Oh no, because you need all the help you can get in those situations. But it's not even that.
There's it's the whole product placement thing. Like they can dress themselves, but if you're an actress and someone's gonna give you a Valentino dress or an Old Navy dress that you might like and dress yourself, like what are you gonna wear?
Right.
And if someone's gonna pay you to wear something, or if then it's gonna give you free to do that, like it's not. I think there's a lot more that goes in. One of my friends who's not a whatever, she's a celebrity. I remember when she went to her movie premiere, I was at her house with her, and there was just, the table was covered with like bags, and it was like, if you wear this one, you'll get this. If you do, like, there's a whole science behind it. So
yes, and it's kind of like Jennifer Lawrence for Dior. She is contracted to be the Dior spokesmodel.
Right. So they're going to want her to have a certain look.
And she always wears Dior to all of her red carpet events.
But I feel like that's different. I feel like when it comes to stylists,
believe me,
telling you. Well,
I've only had a couple opportunities at really small scale so far, but when I've had the opportunity to go to a designer and say, "Can you help me? I'm going to this event," it gives me such relief that I don't have to figure it out, because even though I like to say I'm stylish, I don't have that kind of skill. I don't really know what. See,
and I'm actually sort of different, clearly, but I went to a premiere last night for a movie, like a red carpet premiere, and not that people cared to talk to me or whatever, but in going there, I'll show up in my black pants and my fancy sneakers and a top and a blazer, and I'm confident in, not that you're not, but I can do me. I wouldn't want someone else to tell me what to wear. So I think that's maybe where, but I understand the whole game of it for models, for actors. Anyway, my point being is that there was a lot of other people that would have been interesting to see, that have names in the fashion industry, that would have been interesting and inspiring for these designers. Is it so inspiring? Maybe it is. Maybe this woman has millions and millions of followers, but still, in what this show is, I feel like it would be more inspiring if there was some other designer there or some other...
Well, I feel like it has a couple of facets to it. One is, if she has a lot of followers, yay for Project Runway.
Exactly. They're trying to get more.
That's what I'm saying. There's clearly a game behind this
But
strategy.
at the same time, it is nice to get kind of more a layman's viewpoint as a judge rather than just a celebrity or someone who's been in the fashion industry way too long to get a fresh take on it. So I
It's
get,
good to
I
get
see
a
it
fresh-
from both sides.
I can see that too. But then take somebody like, you know, Joe off the street just to see what makes him look good.
I think that would be rad. They should
I
do
think
that.
it would be rad too if it was that. But
Yeah.
this middle ground to me, and I'm sure there's other things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. But that's to me that it like I mean I feel like we all when they said it we were like what
Who?
YouTube vlogger
Where?
Well, I don't know exactly what this chick has done. I haven't seen any of her stuff, but I mean, kind of this whole fashion blogging thing is like a dime a dozen. Like everybody's a fashion blogger.
Yeah,
They just
she's
run a
got
website
to
and-
have connections. She's
I'm
got to
sure.
have lots of
Well,
followers.
maybe she has a new show on Lifetime.
Or maybe there's a show on Lifetime.
I mean,
Or maybe Lifetime owns her YouTube channel. Who knows?
Something.
Anyway, we got Bethany Moda, and you know what? I really liked her.
Yeah.
I
She
thought
did
she
a
had
great
good
job.
opinions. I thought she knew what she was talking about. A lot of them don't. A lot of them. It's funny because I've noticed, and I don't know that this is a blanket statement across the board, but I've noticed that they don't usually speak first, the guest judge.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of them kind of just take some words. Like, remember who was it that was just like construction.
oh my God, it was the guy from.
Modern Family, was it?
No, it was the guy from Thrift Shop. What's that group?
Ryan.
Ryan Lewis.
No.
No.
I know what you're
Oh
talking
my
about.
God, why can't I think? Macklemore.
Macklemore, yeah, he was like construction after Zach. Like he just kind of reiterated with the other judges, and she doesn't do this. She has her own opinion. She's great.
I was ready to be like whatever, Bethany, but she was great. Yeah,
Yeah, she
again,
was.
I was impressed.
Yeah,
So
I was impressed.
Good
too.
job.
Okay, so now we get to the runway, and you know, we're gonna just like quickly go through everyone, and then we'll just take it to the top and the bottom. So we've got Karina, loved it.
Loved it.
I thought it was kind of safe.
Okay,
I was not
Okay.
floored by it.
that's fine. What about Shar?
Much better on the runway than in the workroom.
No.
I said, hell no, Bo. What was that bow on the side?
I don't know about
actually
that.
had to go up to the television to make sure it wasn't a bag.
I know. I don't know about the bow, but I just think it was an improvement head to toe versus on the mannequin.
I was
Right.
a little disappointed because she usually comes out with something very clean and
Well, I feel like
Shaken.
it was a really good idea, but it was executed poorly.
Yes.
Okay,
except for the bow.
That bow actually was executed pretty well, even
Yeah,
though
but
it was
the
strange.
idea of the bow was
It was
bad.
strange.
terrible.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Okay, we got Fod.
This was like pretty cool. I when I saw it in the workroom, I was like, oh, okay, it
He
looks like a rag doll.
Transformed it from the workroom.
It was
a completely
totally
different dress.
like Sherlock Holmes chic.
Oh, it was like a
It had a cape.
bat wing sleeve.
It
Type
kind of
thing.
was a little bat-wingy. See,
Yeah.
the thing for me, and I know I've got like, I don't know how else to say it except
Oh,
like an
boy.
anal eye, is that I saw his stripes on one sleeve ended at the tip of the sleeve where it would be like crease or like the top, and it didn't at the other one, and like I couldn't get past it. I couldn't get past it. It didn't line up perfectly. Anyway, moving on. We got Samantha.
Okay, Samantha.
I couldn't tell what it was. It was all black.
I put chic, weird, boring.
I put clothespins, one shoulder sleeve, and one sleeveless. And this is the dress that made me say, this looks like, you know, like first year student at a fashion school. Like too gimmicky. Like they
Right.
want to try to put too many things in the same dress.
Okay, we are running out of time, so let's just like, dislike, and then we'll talk about the top and bottom six. Hernan.
Awful muslin vinyl disaster.
She said it.
I got weird toga. Alexander.
Circle skirt. Better than last week.
It was cool. I didn't think it was high fashion.
I love the top. Mitchell.
Plastic dominatrix disaster.
It was Mitchell-y.
I said it was interesting. I
was
thought
interesting.
it was way better than we thought it
All
was
right,
gonna be.
all right.
Sean.
Model saves it. I wrote. I like his model.
I read I like it, not high fashion though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Christine.
I feel like the idea was there, wasn't executed correctly with the proportions and
I thought the sleeves were dumb.
I wrote sadly Karina did better. Amanda.
Oh.
I hated it.
I wrote, I don't want to like it, but I do.
I wrote, hate it, fringe nightmare.
Yeah. it was a
Fringe
nightmare.
apron.
Yeah.
It looked super crafty.
Keene.
Hot suit, black and gray, and I love how it all fit his model so perfectly. I mean, it really was tailored to her.
Amazing.
Badass, love it. Okay.
Zendaya.
I liked the top a lot.
I don't know why I wrote this, but I wrote Simpson chic.
Oh yeah, I see it.
I could totally see that.
Okay.
Emily?
Oh. Japan and Scotland in one look.
It was.
I put scant. It's like a skirt pant.
Oh yeah.
It's a scant.
Yeah.
It's a weird scant.
But she did
Coining
have,
that token.
She
name.
did have all the plaid matched up.
Yeah. Okay. So she did.
She
The
had
construction looked dope.
She had like
we'll
a
talk about
kimono
that.
crop top.
Yeah.
Right.
And then tartan tails.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So in the top we have Keene, Amanda, and
Alexander surprisingly squeezed into the top.
He did. And in the bottom we've got Christine, Sean, and Hernan.
Not a surprise there. Well, Christine I thought could have been safe.
I thought Christine could have been safe too. I thought there was some that were worse than her. But man, they kind of just went to town on her. Zach was like, it's boring. And they ask if it's intentional. And I understand that, that might have been something that saved her, that sometimes the intentions aren't met because they've run out of time. And when they own it, I feel like that helps them in the process of...
I feel like the color didn't help it either, so
Yeah.
it didn't stand out as much.
And she didn't cover it up though.
Right.
Like Amanda did with hers. She's like, let me put this black fringe on top.
Yeah.
So it looks better. Well, Christine just kind of owned the color.
Yeah.
She's like, here it is, pants, jacket, the whole thing.
Okay, and then we've got Sean. And I mean, man, he got ripped to 1 and 2.
Well, Nina
I did not
had a
think it
good
was-
line with that. She said it looks like she had a breast augmentation surgery and she's been wrapped up on top.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that
Oh,
bad.
I didn't think it was that bad either. And I get what Zach's saying. Like, I can appreciate a beautiful deconstruction, and I get that sometimes it doesn't go that way, and it could look sloppy or intentional, and I get that that might not have been to their standards, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't even think the deconstruction looked bad. I thought like kind of the silhouette of the bottom of the skirt, it made it look frumpy. Like I feel like if that would have been tight, or if he would have stayed with like a strapless dress or something.
I
would've
wanted
made
it
those
to be.
pants.
I wanted it to be more fitted to the
Yeah,
model's
definitely.
body,
Pants.
further down the legs, like you're saying, Michelle.
Yeah.
And then we've got Hernan, who, again, there's just excuse after excuse after excuse, man. I don't like people that make excuses. Like, if you
It's
suck,
like
you
everyone
suck.
had to deal with some crazy suit fabric.
Exactly. I think
Deal with it, Hernan!
your attitude. You go in there
Screaming,
defeatist.
yes.
You're gonna come out with something that reflects that.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny that, and this is where I mentioned earlier in the show that Heidi did call him out, and it's like, so wait a minute. You've got a terrible fabric, and then you go buy vinyl? Like, you had a choice to make it better, and your choice made it worse. Don't blame it on what you've been given, pretty much. And I like that that's what she's doing more. She's calling people out more, and not like in a mean or malicious way, but in a way that's like, no, you're not going to get that by me. Right. Yeah.
Well, I think that he just was complaining about the fabric, but you could have made a decision to do something better with it.
Well, I mean, the worst part was when he was standing there in the sewing room with his model, and he just takes a pair of scissors to the dress and sends her on out.
See, I don't know. I thought that actually improved the dress.
I don't think so. I think it made it look sloppier.
But it was terrible before that.
length.
It was such a bad length.
Maybe it wouldn't have made a difference.
But I
It
think
was
the raw
toga.
edge just kind of added to the badness of it.
Yeah, the raw edge I wasn't a fan of. It would have been better if you could fix it, but I like the length better is what
But
I'm
at
trying to
least
say.
the
And then
silhouette
we
looked
have
better.
to address the brown V on the front of the model.
Do we have to?
Well, the judges definitely addressed it.
I mean, Nina straight up called his dress that she modeled looked like a vagina superhero.
It did kind of look like it.
Like a
Which
costume.
was kind of weird coming out of Nina's mouth, I'm not going to lie.
That was kind of weird, but maybe at this point they've seen so many dresses
She
on
was
the show.
over it.
She's like,
Yeah.
whatever, Hernan.
But I
Think
the
about what
worst-
you're doing to this poor girl.
The worst part about it, though, is when they asked him to talk about his dress, he's just blaming the fabric. He's not saying, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I did make a mistake. I screwed it up. Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like
have to be
me too,
honest with
in
yourself.
being in this industry and owning a company. I feel like the biggest things that people, especially in this industry, because there's so many things that go out of control, is you need to know how to say it's my fault, and I don't know. And I feel like a lot of the people that go home don't know how to say that. Like, I don't know what happened. I thought I could do this with this fabric. This is what I thought. This was my intention, but I don't know. Like, because you can't combat that. You know?
can't know everything. You're gonna make mistakes,
right?
but you
and
have
it's not
to
like what
take the blame.
I
if that's
think you're
where it's-
so right. I think that attitude gets people eliminated more than the workmanship.
And it was also too when Sean said something about the deconstruction, he was trying to defend that, and Heidi even says, "Yeah, it's not our first day here." Like, I was like, whoa, and I like that sass.
Woo!
I like Heidi. I like her a lot.
Sassy.
Okay, cool. So unfortunately, Hernan is the loser.
Oh,
he
Hernan.
goes home, and you know what? I'm kind of okay with it. It'll be less dramatic. It'll be, you know, I don't think we're missing anything. Like, he was a talented designer, fine, but it's not like I was like, oh man, I wish I could see what he does next.
Last week he was using the double-sided tape to finish the dress on the model, so
Yeah.
the skills weren't necessarily there yet.
Right. Okay, so now we move to the top three. And so let's start with Keeney. I mean, I think we all agree that his was just awesome.
Stunning.
It was, I would wear that.
And
There's
he-
not many dresses that this girl would get into. I would wear that.
I would wear it too.
Yeah.
Oh, we would all wear it.
Totally.
Yes.
Keeney, make us some.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keeney he was happy with the challenge from beginning to end. He was
Yeah.
happy they were going to Red Robin. He was happy
He's
that
just-
he got that suit.
I feel like that's just, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he's just had a good attitude all season
He
so far.
has.
Right.
Yeah.
He's really excited to be there because he deserves it, and he's doing a great job, and it's fun to see him week to week how he responds to everything. And I didn't know it was made out of neoprene.
I
And
didn't
I
either.
love that that was the supplemental
Right,
fabric
I didn't know
that
that
he
either.
chose.
Yeah, and that's
So
a smart decision.
Yep.
Okay, then we go to Amanda, and Heidi comes out and says, I want this dress. And you know what? As much as I don't like the dress, I still don't. I mean, I get what she did was good. She covered up a lot. She made it hip, whatever.
But is that the
Heidi.
challenge, to cover up the suit
No,
fabric?
and like it would probably even look good on Heidi because Heidi can at this point rock anything. But no, I don't like it.
Sorry.
Well,
Take it away.
speaking of like things looking like a costume, I mean, this really looked like a costume.
It
Something
did.
out of like Austin Powers.
Right.
But
Yeah.
nobody said that because
It
they
did.
really
She should be
liked
walking
it.
around with like a
like a tambourine and some flowers in her hair.
yeah.
But it wasn't even good. Like, you know, you see Free People or you see Love and Lemons, and that's like hippie done good. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I did not see.
Yeah, I could see she was trying to free people it, but no.
But it wasn't right.
But
No, it
on
wasn't
the
right.
runway,
It wasn't right.
the movement was very attractive with the fringe. She knew what she was doing there at least.
You know what? And yes, it was good movement in the front of the one way. The back of the dress, like, why didn't that come down to like try to be like sexy V or something? That back straight line of
Amanda
fringe.
was just covering it all up. She was
She
like,
was.
I hate this fabric. I hate this fabric. I hate this
I
fabric.
think that's just her solution to everything. Just put some fringe on it.
Just fringe will solve everything.
Okay, and then we've got
Saves the day.
Alexander, and you know, I mean, I kind of liked his look too.
I thought it was cool because it's kind of 50s modern, and like it's kind of
Yeah.
Red Robin. It's like a diner, and it's like
I like the
50s.
red and white. It was kind of
Yeah.
a nod to the men's suiting, tailoring, and stuff like that. You
Right.
know, more like a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, when they said, you know, Alexander was safe, like I can't believe
he was in
I'm
the
just
top.
I'm just gonna get to it. I can't believe Amanda won this freaking challenge with the two other
So
two in the
Amanda
top.
was the big winner.
Yeah.
Guys.
I honestly,
I
the
thought-
other two looked so like high caliber.
And we have to also.
She didn't look high fashion. That didn't look high fashion to
It
me.
didn't even look fashion to
And
me.
I get that high fashion can mean a lot of different things. I understand that. But with the other two, with what the challenge was, and
I think Keeney also, the judges mentioned this. I love that the back of his dress, he thought about where the placement of all the fabric was going to go.
Yeah.
And he thought about the fact that the suit pockets for the jacket showed up on the back of the skirt.
I like that.
It was so perfect. And I mean, he's a really smart designer.
He's gonna
And,
go far.
he
I think
is.
he's gonna go far. He's got a good attitude and he's smart and he's quick.
But even though it was fantastic. I think they gave it to Amanda because her suit fabric was probably the most challenging of all the top 3. And she managed to make it work. So I think that was...
It didn't work. It didn't work.
I don't think it worked,
and
dude.
I don't think it's like
I
when
don't
you
think
talk
it
about
worked.
Keeney, he had the thought process. Like his look conveyed a power suit. Everything about it was perfect. The thought process, the tailoring, everything. You look at Amanda's, there's no thought. It did.
No
the
thought.
colors didn't work to me.
God.
It just looked.
Oh.
I didn't hear any thoughts. I didn't see
man.
any thoughts.
Maybe they were just like, we want to stop hearing her complain, so let's just give her a win. But now that means she's gonna be there for 2 more weeks.
Well, all of her comments aside, when it came down the runway, I was impressed. And like I said, I didn't want to like it, but I did. I did.
I definitely didn't think it was top. It probably should have been bottom.
I liked Karina's better than hers.
Yes.
Like if Karina, I thought it was more
Yes.
classy and like hip and cool.
Yeah,
I would
red and black.
Yeah, I could have seen that in the top over that.
Yeah.
I think it just stood out because it was so different from the rest of the dresses.
Yeah, but that's not why you win.
All
Just because
right.
it stands out in a bad
All
way.
right. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to agree and disagree about that one.
That's okay. We can introduce anything else that you guys want to add. I know we're pretty much at our time, but anything else you guys want to add before we go?
I'm just hoping for some really more wow moments this season because so far, I mean, there's been a couple, but I haven't been like, oh my God, look at that, you know?
You know what I wish they would do is like fan votes. Like I'm just sick.
I mean, you
I'm
see
sorry.
it.
Like I just when you have the fan vote online afterwards, they never agree with the judges, and I'm just getting over it.
Maybe the fans could eliminate someone.
Yeah, I feel like they could make better decisions. Maybe. I mean, you have to
There's
respect
gotta
the
be
judges for what they do and everything, but I feel like, you know,
There's got to be a way to kind of do both, and I feel like some shows do both, like Dancing with the
America's Next
Stars.
Top Model does that too.
Yeah, like it's
You
like
have
they
3 judges, and then you have the fan vote, and they
You get a-
combine everything.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We could take
That'd
a
be
page from
interesting.
the Tyra
just
And
book.
it is.
shocked
It's
every
also
time.
too because it's season 13, so it's and they do the play along where you can be online and you can see the percentage of people that agree and disagree and all that. But it would be really cool for that to actually matter because
Factor in.
to factor in. I don't think that many people would have picked Amanda's dress to win tonight.
Keeney's dress, I think, was the most
I
popular.
think Keeney's dress. Out of the top 3, I think Keeney's dress definitely would have won. And
Yeah.
if not, I think that Alexandra would have won
Really?
over Amanda.
Yeah, definitely.
I do. I think that, and I get what she did, and it was a challenge, and she did good, and props to her. And like again, we'd love any of you guys to call in. We love you all, but we
Tweet
just
us,
give our
too.
opinion.
Tell
Yeah.
us what you think. We want to know.
All right. Anything else before we wrap it up?
I think that's it. Well, did we see the scenes from next week? Heidi is the client. The designers have to design something.
And she comes in a trench coat.
Is she
saying.
naked under there?
I don't know. All right, guys. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at IAMSTEFZ. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Runway Queen.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Uberreste, and my website is michelleUberreste.com.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.